to show you the resistance game, which is about diffusing the emotional arousal that comes from a tension on the lead. So this is a choice game where the dog has a choice, and depending on what it chooses to do, there'll be a good outcome. So what I'm going to do is toss a treat forwards away from the dog, kind of in front of its face, and I'm not going to cue F-I-N-D-I-T. So normally if I want a dog to eat something, I will cue find it, okay? But in this case, I'm just going to toss it. And then my dog is going to want to go towards the treat, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and toss the food. Jack's going to pull towards it. Yes! And when he disengages from that, he's going to get rewarded. And then I'm going to move towards the treat saying find it. Okay? So come back here. Now Jack has done this a fair bit, so he stops pulling on his lead and stops the retention fairly quickly. When you first start this, your dog may stare and whine at the treat for a very long time, okay? Now what I'm going to do, now that Jack does reduce the tension on the lead, takes a step back, looks at me, I'm now going to add a tornado turn to the game. So what I'm going to do is toss that food. Yes! And I'm going to turn as I give him treats. Okay, so he actually gets 3 treats from me, and then find it. So I have more value because I either am giving more or I'm giving the better treat. So if you have different food, you can throw dog kibble and then reward with something higher value like Ziwi Peak or chicken or whatever you're giving that's a little bit extra special. Or you can just work on quantity. So you toss the one piece of the food and then you would reward with more pieces. And the key is to try to keep the momentum, so the motion going, because this is what's used when there's a high distraction. So I just want you to imagine that Jack has seen a dog in front of him and he wants to go, yes, towards that dog. Well, I need to keep moving backwards away to help refocus him. Then I can choose to find it, or in the instance of greeting another dog, I might say hello. Or I might need to just go the other direction. So what you're doing here is just starting to create a different meaning to the tension on the lead. So normally tension on the lead gets dogs' emotional arousal higher because they're being restrained and they want to go forward. But in this case, we're starting to teach that the tension means food, basically, or something good. Now you can play this with toys as well. So Jack isn't a huge toy dog, but if you have a dog who loves any toy or loves balls or something like that, you can throw it. Now, if you're using toys, you kind of want to have a background on saying get it or fetch when you throw it. So that's a bit more on cue, but it's okay if you haven't been doing that. But when you toss it, you're just not going to say anything. So I'm going to speak this one, make it a bit more exciting. I'm going to toss it. You can see Jack's not really that into toys, but you can imagine if your dog was into toys. Yes, when they disengage, do a tornado turn. You can see Jack glance back. Keep turning, and then you're going to say, get it! And if they love the toy, you can play the toy, or in this case, Jack's just going to get the treat. Okay, good boy. I'll finish. So that is the resistance game. It's about waiting until your dog stops pulling on the lead. Your little moment to say yes will either be they'll take a step back, they'll look at you, they might just glance over their shoulder, excuse me, or they might do a full turn towards you. At that point, you're going to yes, excuse me, and start rewarding. Okay.